Hi and welcome to the channel. Back for another live match, this time back at Heronbrook for the second round of the Angling Trust Winter League. And this time I've drawn on Meadow pool peg 24. It's a good peg. It's on a bend. They always say ends and bends at Heronbrook, and this is a bend. Although it hasn't had much form just lately, I'm still quite happy to have drawn here. Now you've got lots of options on this peg and you can do too many things. So I'm trying to keep it to minimals by fishing hard pellets in the deeper water across and then perhaps up the shelf. Maybe maggots over there if pellets don't work. Meat down the middle and then maggots down the middle in two different areas. So I'm going left with meat and right with maggots. And then we'll see how it goes as to what I do in the edges. So I'll start the match on the hard pellet. It's probably around 4 foot, 4.5 feet deep where I'm fishing at about 13 metres, just past 13 metres. Putting a 6mm fin perfect in the band and tapping in 10 to 12 4mm fin perfects. It takes me 3 feeds to get an indication, which I thought at the time was a good sign, but turns out it was a fair look fish. Still happy that fish are coming into the feed though. Got anything, Ash? Hey? I fair looked one, I lost it. And I'm just going to start throwing 4 or 5 pieces of meat on the short line. Not putting any maggots in yet. I'm just going to wait and see what happens for a while before I start putting bait anywhere else. So I'm now on my 4th feed after just fair looking a fish. Tap some more pellets in, lay the rig in and hope that something else turns up. It's not too long going to get another bite. This time it's hooked properly. The peg I'm on had £40 the day before, so I'm not expecting too much off it, to be fair. The earlier pegs on this pool have been producing a lot of fish just lately, so I'm expecting those areas to produce again today, but we'll see. And there we have a nice F1 to start with. All the rigs I'm using today on every line is a 4x12 F1 maggot. Obviously some of them have got bands on and then the others are just on spade ends. There's no wind about, there's no tow, so 4x12 should be adequate for most of my areas of fish. I have also set up a 4x10 F1 wire for dobbing. That was a last minute thing, that was. I never really intended to do any dobbing, but I saw a lot of people have set them up, so I thought, just in case. I've nicked a couple of slices of bread off Ash Davies next door, who's on peg 22, and I'm keeping my eye on around the pool to see if people are catching doing that. But at the minute, the fish are still feeding, so I'm starting by putting bait in. So it seems like there's a few fish about now. Those pellets have attracted a few, although this one's a skimmer. Decent sized skimmer, worth catching.
I missed this one.
There we go, there's another one. Still tapping in about 10 4mm pellets. It's managing to attract a few fish into the peg. Lovely. I can see there's not a lot happening around the pool. The only thing I don't like about this peg is you got your back to everybody, so you can't really see what's going on unless you're turning around and watching. I like to be able to see what's going on around the pool, to be honest, so I can dictate how you go about it. Well, at the minute, I'm happy to keep tapping in 4mm and fishing a 6mm on the hook, as I seem to be doing okay. Ash, who's on peg 22 to my left, it's not one of the favoured pegs, but he's got the hole straight to himself, so that could be good. He catches a lot of fish at Ehrenbrook, so I'll be watching him closely to see what he's doing and see if I can use him to help me. And then to my right, I know the chap is fishing corn on pretty much all his lines, feeding micros and corn and fishing corn. So I'll be watching him. I've got a tin of corn with me, but I haven't opened it up yet. I'll see what happens as to how he catches on his method before I decide whether I'm going to open the tin or not. For now, I'm just going to do what I planned, which is pellets, meat and maggot. And the only two lines I'm feeding at the moment are still those two. Out my hand, down the middle, and then pellets across. There we go, there's another one. This one feels a slightly better fish. Using Duraslip 11 in my top kits. I have got a couple set up with Dura 13s for in the shallower water, where I hope to catch the odd carp. There we go, little carp, £4 odd. And everything's going well at the minute. And there's another one. And it's another carp, this one. One of the new stocky carp. How beautiful fish they are. 2.5 to £3, I would imagine. As you can see with my shotting pattern there, I've got a shirt button style with all my weights a couple of inches apart in the lower third of the rig, above a 4-inch hook length. 014 AccuPower to a size 18 GPMB with a small bait banding. I get up to 6 fish before it dies on that line, and I'm just going to have a quick look on the meat down the middle to see if there's anything turned up there. And I wait 4 or 5 minutes, and I'm just about to come off the line in the flatberries, and I hook my first fish down the track. A last gasp bite it was, just before I was going to come off the line. When I decided to come off a line, I came to 60, and if it hasn't gone in that 60 seconds, I'll get off it. And this bite came exactly on 60, and it's a big F1. Lovely fish. So we'll give it another go. Again, it's a 4x12 rig. I've used this same rig for the 2 lines down the track. Like I said, it's a 4x12 F1 maggot, and it's got an 014 hook length, AccuPower hook length, with a size 16 GPMB. And the difference between the 2 lines is about 3 inches. So it's a little bit deeper to my right than it is to my left. I've marked up on the top kit the different depths, so I can change between the two. Saves making up extra rigs, I suppose. Another 3 or 4 minutes, I'm going to catch another F1. Again, it's a nice stamp fish. So I've had 2 fish on the meat and I can't get a bite now. So I'm going to continue putting 4 or 5 pieces of meat in, and I'm going to start feeding the maggot line. And I'm just going to feed it by the pot to start with. And I'm looking around and I see the chap to my right started catching on his corn. So I'm off my box, getting my tin out, opening it up. I'm going to start feeding a couple of lines with it. I've noticed he's got a line right off the end of his top kit, and he's had a couple of fish there. He's lost a big one there as well. So I'll try that because I hadn't got anything planned for this line. I'll give that a go myself. So I best get it plumbed up. before I start feeding it. Make sure I know what I'm doing, what the bottom's like there. I don't want to be putting it on an uneven bottom. I want to try and get it somewhere flattish or slightly sloping away from me. Right, so I'm happy with that now. Throw 3 or 4 pieces of corn in. And I'll just keep dripping a bit of corn there and drop on it every now and then to see if there's anything turned up. So I'm just marking the top kit with my tire marker crayon. And now I'm going to go over to the far bank and see if I can catch on the hard pellet over there. So now I'm going to go over to the far bank and see if I can catch on hard pellets in the shallower water. When I say shallower water, it's not that much shallower than where I caught in the first place. No real shelves on this peg, over there anyway. Again, I'm tapping in some 4mm and fishing a 6mm on the hook. And I don't get a bite, which is surprising. 2 or 3 feeds I fed on this line. I've never had an indication doing it, which I found a bit strange. Right, so now I'm going to have a quick look with a piece of bread on my dobbing rig and see if I can catch anything over there against the reed. See if there's any fish hanging about under the surface. So I'm dropping that rig in fairly tight to the far bank. And it's not in there too long and it sails under. And I'm into a fish on the bread. Half decent F1. Probably fishing about 18 inches deep there. Using a piece of 6mm punch bread. on the hook. Again, it's a size 16 GPMB. It's 2.5/16 Acupair hook length. This is just in case a carp takes me into the reeds. Gives me that little bit more durability. Keeping a bit of bait going on the other lines while I'm shipping out. Back to the same area where I've just had that one. Now I never even saw this bite. I just picked it up to move it and there was a fish on. So that tells me I'm fishing a little bit too deep. So once I've brought this fish in and got him out, I'll alter the depth by a couple of inches. Take a little bit off the depth. We go, another nice F1. Despite trying all over the peg now, I can't get another bite on it. So it's time to try something else again.
Got there, Ash.
So I'm going to have another quick look on the meat, see if there's any more turned up on that short line. Yes. Again, it took a while to get this bite, but there is odd fish coming to it. Another nice F1. He's unhooked himself for me as well, bless him. He seems to be catching a few more fish on the corn next door now. So I'm going to drop a bit of corn at 13 metres to my right in the deeper water. Well out the way of anything else I'm doing. See if I can catch me 1 or 2 fish there as well. It does seem that you can catch a couple of fish here and there and you've got to move again. So this will give me another option to have a go at. I'm going to drop a few more maggots on that short line as well. Not too many, probably about 60 maggots I suppose. 60, 70 maggots. I'll go back on the meat. making sure I'm keeping the odd piece of corn going in on that top kit line. There's another one. And that proves to be the last one I hook on this line. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because I started feeding maggots to the other line, but I don't know what the reason was. I could not catch another fish there the rest of the match. Despite feeding it all day, I never had another bite. But that was all good fish I caught on the meat as well. Decent stamp F1s there were. All 4 of them. Still got some go in them as well, these fish have. This one really doesn't like it. You'd swear blind he was foul up the way he was going. He's in. Perfectly hooked in the mouth, look. Decent stamp again. Right, so now I'm altering the depth. Putting those 3 inches back on, I'm going to try the same rig over my maggots. So I drop up a couple of maggots on the hook. I'm going to put a cup on so I can keep it accurate to start with. Pinch of maggots. Tap them out and then lay the rig in over the top. It's not too long before it goes under. And I'm thinking yes. But it was a skimmer. Again, a decent stamp, worth catching, but not the intended species. But I don't mind catching these when I'm waiting for F1s to turn up, as long as they do turn up. Lovely stamp, look. £1.5 or so. Another 2 maggots on the hook. Always hook them through the pointy end, leave loads of the hook exposed. A few more in the pot. I'll give it another go. Try my best to see what's going on around me as well. I missed a bite there. I'm throwing the odd piece of meat down that right hand edge. It's quite shallow there. I'm not really expecting to catch there, but you never know. Okay, it's time to get off this line. When you're catching roach, there don't tend to be many F1s there yet. Although I don't mind catching roach when they're this size. I'm lovely, look. It's got to be 6 ounce he has. Beautiful. So I'm going to drop a few more maggots there and go somewhere else. Half decent pinch of maggots.
It's like 28 bagging. Yeah, bagging is. Oh dear.
I'm going to have a quick look on the corn on this top kit. See if I can get a bite. See if there's anything turned up there. And I don't get an indication, so putting a pot on, I'm going to go and try it out in the deep water, which is exactly the same depth as what I've plumbed up on my top kit, so I can use that rig for both lines. Keep a bit of meat going in. Being careful not to spill my corn out of my pot as I'm shipping out. Emptying the pot and then laying the rig in behind it. Let's see if I can get a bite here. And we got one. Again, it's another skimmer. So that's 3 different lines with 3 different baits that I've caught skimmers on. Skimmer on a hard pellet, skimmer on maggot, and now a skimmer on corn. And again, it's another decent stamp one. Lovely fish. Now the next time out, I dropped a bit of corn in again, and I never had an indication. So this time out, I'm dropping a few micros in with the corn to see if that attracts anything. And I'm also going to put a little ball of micros where I've been feeding the corn on the top kit line. Just making sure all my lines are fed, and I'm starting now to feed maggots out my hand as well. That did the trick. Just dropping those 3 micros in there along with the corn. It's attracted a fish.
Want to catch a few now, Ash? Want to catch a few now?
It's not a skimmer this time either. Bit awkward shipping here as well because there's a tree immediately behind you and you've got to negotiate the tree to get to your rollers. If I'd have been fishing this way for most of the match, I would have repositioned my rollers to the other side of the tree. But as I intend to do most of my fishing in front of me, I'll leave them where they are. Another lively fish. There we go. Another carp. Took some getting in, he did. Try that again. Another piece of corn on the hook. Three or four pieces in the pot. Pinch of micros. Chap round the corner for me. He's had 3 or 4 fish on that short line, on that top kit line, doing exactly the same as what I'm doing. So hopefully at some point it'll start working for me. Keep a few maggots going in, and hopefully at some point I'll end up bagging on that line. But for now, we've just got to keep moving around, picking off fish here and there. And there's another bite on the corn. Guide it round to my rollers, and then I can ship. F1 this one. Shocking netting. We got him. Decent fish, that one. And again, another one. Another skimmer. This line was good for about 5 or 6 fish. Couple of skimmers, couple of carp and a couple of F1s before dying off on me. So it was time to try something else. It's another F1. That proved to be the last fish I caught on that line. So it was time to try something else. Another quick look on the top kit line. And eventually I get a bite on it. Trying to make his way around the corner, this one. I managed to turn him round. It's only an F1 again. Lovely. In the spread bag. So that's all the lines bar one that I've tried and I've caught some fish on. Time to have a look, see if these F1s are turned up on this short line yet. Apparently not. Well, there we go, there's one. Maybe they have turned up.
Back in there, are you, Ash? Amigo?
That proved to be a lonely fish. So I thought, right, I've changed the hook length on my far bank rig to a spade end, and I'm going to put 2 maggots on and tap a few maggots in through the pot and see if I can catch some over towards the far bank on maggots. Still keep priming that line though. Bit of meat as well. Give them a quick feed before I ship out. Tight towards the far bank. Sprinkle the maggots out of the pot and then lay the rig in behind it. That was a bit disappointing. Give it another go though, just in case. For another roach. But I definitely feel there's some fish over there. So I'm going to drop this rig down. I'm going to get my dobbing rig. I'm going to pull the float down. So as it's fishing shallower. I'm going to put maggots on the hook. I'm going to put the pot on. And I'm going to sprinkle some maggots over. And try and catch shallow to those reeds. Because it definitely feels like there's fish there. Not many maggots. Between 6 and 10 maggots. Just a little pinch. I'm going to wet the pot so as they don't fall out as I'm shipping out. And we'll see what happens with this. Just tap a couple of the maggots out and leave the pot upturned so as I can drip out the rest of them. And then I'm going to ping a few maggots over the top of it. Just a little pinch. And it's worked. I've got a bite straight away. And I've hooked a carp. And he's making for that reed bed on my right. And he's found it. Try my best to pull him away, but he's not having it. And that's the lot gone. Took the whole rig. Right. Bigger rig. Bigger elastic. We'll try that with some stronger gear. Ping a few maggots over there while I'm getting myself sorted. So this again's another F1 maggot in a 4x10. I'm going to fit it to Duraslip 13. Trim the rig down so as it's fishing really shallow. And put an O16 or clean foam with a 16 GPMB on. And I'm back over there. Doing exactly the same thing with just thicker gear. And it's worked again, another bite. And I'm able to control him a little bit better because I'm fishing heavier elastic. Feed me other lines while I'm playing this fish. Carp again, this one. Still got plenty of energy these fish have. There we go. Half decent fish again. Carp, about £5 or so. Maybe more. I'm dipping the pot in the water for two reasons. First one's to stop them bouncing out while I ship out. And secondly, as you can see there, I'm turning the pole over. It's helping the maggots to stick to the pot, and they crawl out of the pot individually, if you like. Takes them longer to get out the pot. And then once I know the pot's empty, I'm trickling a few over the top with a catapult, just to ensure that there's always bait going through the peg to try and attract another fish. And it's working. I'm catching a few fish doing it. But I'm hardly putting any feed in at all, really. I'm only pinging 4 or 5 maggots with a catapult, and 2 or 3 of them are going up the bank. And again, It's off that little run of fish over there. It's time to have a look down the track again. See if there's anything turned up on the maggots. Or I'll keep pinging maggots over there so as I can rotate it. There we go. Another carp, this one. Of a stamp fish, £5 maybe. At least 4.5. Again, no more bites there, so back over. And there's another one. Still haven't quite turned up on that short line yet. Whatever I can do to put fish in the net while I wait for them to rock up on that short line, I'll keep trying. So now I'm going to drop a few micros and a bit of meat around the corner down the edge. It's probably about 2 feet deep there. And see if there's anything turn up there at some point. In the meantime, back down the middle, keep feeding some maggots over. And this is starting to get a bit livelier now, this line is. Need to put a bit of carbon on for this one. He's making a dash for it. He's coming back. A decent stamp F1. Have a quick look over that micrometer put in, and it goes straight down the hole. There we go. Another carp. And that was the only bite I had there, so back on the short line. And like I said, it's starting to get a bit more lively on this line now. This one's trying to do a runner as well. It's only a short run though. And you start to see things my way and turn round. Not even a big fish, to be fair. I'd have swore blind he was fair luck, to be honest, the way he was running around. Darted to his right, then darted to his left. Here he comes. Hooked in the mouth. Starting to get good on this line now. They've rocked up. Be nice to have a good last 45 minutes on these, on this short line. Could put some weight together there. And they've proper turned up. One a chuck. I've switched from throwing corn in on that top kit line now to putting meat in. Because I've only had the one bite on the corn. So I'm trying another bait to see if that'll work. But while I'm catching on this line like this, I'm going nowhere else. It's literally one a chuck now. Or half decent stamp F1s as well. Absolutely solid now. Beautiful fishing now. One every putting. I could have perhaps quickened up the pace by having another rig set up with a stronger elastic, say a 13 Duraslip. That might have made the process a little bit quicker getting them in. Something maybe to bear in mind in future. And perhaps a heavier rig, say a 4x14, to get the bait down there quicker. Because as soon as it settled, it was going under. So I could have sped it up a little bit and caught a couple more fish maybe. And that one's a carp again. Having an F1 a chuck with the odd carp mixed in. Can't complain at that. Decent fish he is, got to be £6. Just repositioning my stots. They do get moved about sometimes when you net fish. I think it's a small price to pay myself. As you very, very rarely lose a stot off a rig. Whereas half the time, from my experience, shot just come off. A lot of the time you're ending up putting shot on all the time. I just can't be doing with that. I'd rather just move it than risk it coming off. A few more pieces of meat on that top kit line. I'm still feeding up that edge. I don't know why, because I'm not going to go up there again. Not even had time to fill my vape up there. The peg's absolutely solid now. I should just commented how fast I'm catching.
Stand up, are they?
They're proper rocked up. Can't get the rigging quick enough. With a prime F1. Two maggots on the hook again. Ship out, put the rig in, and then feed over the top. just as the rig's settling. 2 pinches of maggots. Never even had time to have a drag on my vape there, look. Always put a bit of feed in once I've hooked a fish as well, to try and attract some more fish into the peg while I'm playing one. It's solid. Now, just after that, I pricked a fish and then I foul hooked one. So I thought I'd give it a quick rest and have a quick look on this top kit with the meat on and see if I can catch anything there while I let that peg settle down again. And I hook a carp there, happy days. Decent fish as well. There we go, nice fish. Beautiful. Still got a lot of go in him, look. No more bites there, so finish off down the track again. And then back. Ends up having a brilliant end to the match. Skipped around the peg most of the day, putting odd fish in the net. And the last 30 minutes has been an absolute bagging session to give me a really enjoyable end to the match. Yet another carp. I've had a few carp today. I must have had 10 or 12 carp. Real bonuses on this lake. Absolutely solid. This proves to be the last fish of the day. Try my best to get there as quick as I can.
Right. Oh!
And that's it. That's the all out. Didn't have enough time to catch one more fish. Never mind. Had a brilliant last half hour to the match. Ended up with around 40 fish. I've ended up with £123 exactly to win the section. Ash ended up being second with £114. Feel he's done well off that peg, to be fair. He doesn't catch a lot of fish normally. Like I said, he's a good angler. He knows this place like the back of his hand. Spends a lot of time here. There was another £100 off the end peg, peg 30, Brad Parks. And Gary Kay to my right on peg 26 had £77. So I was really happy to win my section and do my job for the team. And we ended up with a decent result on the day, finishing second overall. And we also pushed up to second in the league. And with the top two teams qualifying, we just got to hope we can stay there or even better it. So I hope you enjoyed watching that. If you did, give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more like this, then please subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.